This defendant, by his own words and by his own deeds, wanted to attack our nation and its ideals.
Tonight, a man arrested for allegedly plotting a terror attack in Cleveland. New details about the suspect and his possible motives.
Plus, how local law enforcement is preparing for the July 4th holiday to make sure you're safe at crowded events. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story: as Americans kick off the 4th of July holiday week, security is top of mind across the country.
In Ohio, authorities say they've arrested a man who was planning an Independence Day attack on downtown Cleveland. Karen Kafa has more on that arrest and why law enforcement say the threat spanned beyond Cleveland.
Authorities have arrested a Cleveland man they say had a terrifying goal this 4th of July.
This defendant was walking around downtown Cleveland, conducting reconnaissance on what he thought was a large-scale attack.
On Monday, the FBI Cleveland Division announced the arrest of Demetrius Nathaniel Pitts. They say days ago he told an undercover agent he was planning to carry out a large-scale attack on the holiday.
He looked for locations to park a van that would be packed with explosives.
Before his arrest Sunday, authorities say Pitts reiterated his plans to inflict mass harm and specifically target military members and their families. The details are chilling.
Just yesterday, he discussed giving remote control cars packed with explosives and shrapnel to the children of our military uniform members.
Pitts, also known as Abdur Rahim Rafiq, was charged in federal court with attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization. He had been under FBI surveillance since 2017 after allegedly expressing his support for al-Qaeda.
Pitts' statements of violent intentions continue to cause concern during the investigation.
The FBI says Pitts also planned to target other cities, including Philadelphia, where he had previously lived. Authorities say the news shouldn't alter people's July 4th plans because the agencies involved did what they needed to do and will remain vigilant.
The reason the Joint Terrorism Task Force works is because all the people to my left and right, and we are forever grateful.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Here in the Suncoast, local law enforcement is preparing for the July 4th holiday, putting plans in place to make sure you're safe at crowded events. This year, the major fireworks shows are on Siesta Key, the Sarasota Bayfront, the Bradenton Riverwalk, and at Nathan Benderson Park. At each event, law enforcement will be in uniform, undercover, and even some on horseback, patrolling the large crowds. Most law enforcement agencies are also using social media to watch for any possible threats. However, law enforcement also relies on the community to call Crime Stoppers or 911 with any threats or suspicious activity you see or experience at or before these crowded events.
Obviously, this could, attract someone who's attention gathering, but the odds are extremely remote anything happening. So it's more to put back on the public to say don't be hesitant to call if they have a fear.
Many law enforcement agencies will not talk about what specific intel they have in place, but want the community to know they are prepared.
And ahead of those fireworks shows, I know Bob has been tracking some storms. Let's check in with Bob and see how that may affect any type of event that you may be going to.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are looking at the 4th of July forecast. For the evening, we are calling for temperatures to be right around 80 degrees at the start of the fireworks. Now, this is for the 4th. A good chance for scattered storms around, too. Things are going to change a little bit, and we are seeing that rain chance go down a little bit after 9:30, down to about 20% for a few showers, lingering showers around again. At the start of the fireworks, temperatures should be into the mid to upper 80s. Will drop down to around 80 degrees at 10 o'clock with some rain cooled air at least. And be careful out there. July 4th typically is the most active in terms of lightning danger across the United States. More lightning deaths and injuries happen on July 4th evening as a result of a lot of people being outdoors in open spaces. We have a few storms around right now into central Florida. You can see that activity, or central parts of our viewing area near Bethany. Also that activity working very slowly to the west. The shower near Parrish wasn't around long, and that's typically the case right now. Some dry air has moved into the upper levels of the atmosphere. This storm in particular has gone above that threshold of 30,000 feet, which means generating lightning. We're seeing a few bolts right now, as you see, right there just north of Hidden River. The one in Parrish not doing so. Also the one to the northwest of the big cell there near Micah City also is not as strong, but you can see quite clearly this one is producing a few lightning strikes out there. I think we'll see more action tomorrow as the high pressure ridge that's been been around for the past couple of days now, is going to move off, and another area of low pressure will move in the upper levels of the atmosphere. You can see the outflow boundary here heading toward Duet. It could generate some other storms here in the next half hour or so. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Sarasota County is giving the city of Sarasota responsibility for 5 parks it can no longer afford. Now the city is scrambling to find a way to pay for their upkeep ahead of the final approval for this year's budget.
Commissioners are considering a property tax increase to pay for the parks. If you own a $200,000 home, this would mean $18 more a year. ABC7's Taylor Torgano is live at Arlington Park and Aquatic Center. Now, Taylor, is everyone on board with that tax increase?
Jacqueline, Scott, they are not. Just last week, the commission voted against this property tax increase, directing staff to find somewhere else to fund this $900,000 it will now cost to maintain these parks.
It's a beautiful park, and this is part of what makes Sarasota so beautiful, is having pretty places like this to come to.
So beautiful, Amy and her friend Tish are capturing Payne Park on canvas.
Gonna do a plein air painting of the pond and the lily pads and maybe some ducks, and we'll see what comes into view.
The two come here weekly, and Tish swims at Arlington Park every day. This is how she found out that both of these parks and 3 others will now be the responsibility of the city of Sarasota instead of the county. All 5 cost a total of $2.1 million to operate and maintain.
The county has given us $881,000 for transitioning funding for the next 3 years, and the difference between those is $915,000. minus the revenues we're expecting to bring in also.
The 5 parks also include Centennial Park, Ken Thompson Park, and the Sarasota Lawn Bowling Club. But where will the city find the money to pay for them?
There's some talk of maybe not funding body cameras and police car cameras, but that's only $250,000 that we were putting aside to kind of get that program started, because that wouldn't cover the entire, but that doesn't cover the entire deficit.
Which is why staff proposed a property tax increase to cover it, but the majority, including Commissioner Hagan Brody, voted against that. He says the city is already expecting $5.7 million in tax revenue from the rise in property values, which should be more than enough to cover this $900,000 deficit. The mayor says simply she disagrees.
We still have a lot of things that we're trying to fund in the interim that have been put off. So we would have balanced the budget without the addition of the parks.
And this discussion is far from over. This upcoming Monday, commissioners will revisit the topic, voting again on if they should raise the property taxes. Then the final vote will be the following Monday. I'm live at Arlington Park. Taylor Torgano, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Taylor, thank you. An update now on a century-old pier on Anna Maria Island. Nearly 10 months after Hurricane Irma, work is now underway to dismantle the storm-damaged city pier. As of Sunday, workers began to demolish the pier in high hopes of constructing a new one. Now, this is what the pier will look like once it's finally complete. In August, workers will also begin building the new platform for the pier. A new bait shop and restaurant will also be constructed to replace the existing site. Construction for both will begin next April, and the entire pier is expected to be complete and open in December of 2019. In total, the new pier is costing $4.3 million.
ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now with a midday turnaround. You were here at noon. It wasn't looking so good.
I was here at noon. The Dow was down by 91 points, and yes, we managed to turn it into a gain. Pretty nice way to start the second half of the year. We were actually down by 194 points at the low of the day. As Scott just said, we were down 91 points at noon. But yes, indeed, we finished with a gain, a very nice way to start the second half of the year. And just an FYI for you investors out there, tomorrow the New York Stock Exchange is closing at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That, of course, for the 4th of July holiday. The market will be closed Wednesday for the 4th of July holiday. Thursday and Friday will be normal trading hours. So with that said, let's see how we did in trading today. Well, how's that? 230 points better than the low of the day, a gain of 36 points, 0.15%, closing at 24,307.18. That on volume of 741 million shares. The NASDAQ, which has been leading the market, did again today a big turnaround, up 57 points, 0.75%, closing at 7,567.69. Net on volume of 1,808 million shares. The S&P moved higher as well, up 8 points, 0.3%, closing at 2,726.71. Well, for those of you who can remember all the way back to January when the Dow was up double digits, we did have a terrific start to 2018. Unfortunately, since January, not so much. Take a look. The year to date, now that's through the first 6 months, the Dow Jones Industrial Average actually has posted a net loss. Yes, I said a loss of 0.7%. Not a big deal, but a red arrow. The NASDAQ, on the other hand, is up by 9.4% in the same time frame. A lot of it having to do with those famous FANG stocks, which had a terrific first 6 months of the year. The S&P, which is the best single measure of the market overall, up 2.6% for the first half of the year. You can annualize that, if you dare, at 5.2%. And indeed, if it is annualized at 5.2, based on history, the S&P typically is up about 7% annually, so this would be not quite there, if you will.
All right, and some news for us on Dell.
Yeah, Dell, which used to be called Dell Computer, went public in 1988, went private in 2013, now is coming public again.
All right. Thank you, Richard.
You're very welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, an update on the missing boys and their soccer coach trapped in a Thailand cave, how rescuers found them all alive and well.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with a look at the forecast for the upcoming holiday, plus how health insurance plans may be fueling the opioid epidemic.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now.
Dr. Ed James II was a visionary. He brought important issues to the forefront on Black Almanac, and ABC7 will honor his legacy and continue to advance his mission. Tune into all new episodes of Black Almanac, Sunday mornings at 7:30 on ABC7.
The ABC7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
Now to a miracle in Thailand. 12 boys and their soccer coach who had been missing for 10 days in a flooded cave have all been found alive. ABC's Elizabeth Hurd tells us how emergency crews pulled off this amazing rescue.
This new video showing the moment all 12 boys and their soccer coach trapped in a cave found alive.
How many of you? 13. Brilliant.
ABC's James Longman also there to capture the moment outside the cave.
It is absolutely extraordinary. We are right outside and you can see how many people have turned up. I mean, it's a massive scrum. Journalists from around the world have come to congregate. The volunteers, the rescuers all went up with screams of joy.
The boys, ages 11 to 16, and their 25-year-old coach disappeared on June 23rd. Officials believe the group had gone to the cave for an excursion when monsoon rains and floods trapped them.
I'm feeling so happy, so this is out of a movie.
About 1,000 volunteers and emergency teams from around the world, including a team from the U.S. military, responded, working around the clock, assisting with the search. Then on Monday, racing against time, the international search team went further along the underground passages than they've ever been before.
So they've confirmed 13 people alive. They're very weak. The patrols went in. One medic stayed behind with them, and tomorrow morning we're going for an extraction plan.
But we are told they have to act quickly because there is another torrential rainstorm in the forecast for Wednesday. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Governor Rick Scott will be traveling to Kuwait this week, where troops from the Florida National Guard and Army Reserves from Orlando are currently stationed. Governor Scott will be meeting with servicemen and women and military officials there. He'll also be bringing these troops some reminders of home this Independence Day. Scott said he looks forward to making sure our troops know that Floridians appreciate their service to our country.
A new swim advisory for Bird Key Park is still in effect. The Florida Department of Health says there are harmful levels of bacteria present in the water. If swallowed accidentally while swimming, the bacteria could cause stomach sickness. Tests are still being done to monitor the levels of bacteria in the water.
Well, I know the area enjoyed at least one pretty nice day for racing over the weekend.
It was not bad. The things worked out pretty nicely. There was a little bit of a chop out there, but the racers liked that and had a chance to get out there and see them up close personal. We are looking at a little bit more activity in our forecast, so as we head into July 4th, and looks like there'll be a lot of people out there. There'll be more storms around too, so I want to remind people that the dangerous lightning, if you hear the thunder, get out, get indoors, and obviously get out of that rainfall. We are looking at that activity to increase. Here's what happened on Sunday, though. It was kind of nice out there. After the rains moved through, there was a rainbow, and guess what? It ended up right there at the UTC Mall. A pot of gold. I'm sure folks going to check that out and ended up spending a pot of gold probably at the Lloyd Johnson sending that photo. Nice one there. And as far as the calm conditions out on the water, it's a little calmer today than it was yesterday. Boy, look at flat, calm seas out there in the Gulf of Mexico. Looking at the KC Key webcam, beautiful beach weather, and looks like that is going to continue throughout much of the morning tomorrow. We will see, however, a better chance for those scattered storms. We have a little area of low pressure, which is going to move in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, kind of bump this high-pressure ridge out of the way. And on top of that, the dry air that's around right now in the mid-levels is going to moisten up a bit. So the storms will be a little heavier. They'll stick around a little longer, and obviously a little bit more lightning anticipated, I think, as we move through Tuesday and in through Wednesday. Right now, there are some storms around. We had a little bit of activity near Venice around the 3 o'clock hour. That kind of moved on, and then some developed near Parrish. Those two are starting to wind down near Parrish, but we're starting to see more develop just south of Bethany. And this one east of Parrish just kind of popped up as a result of the outflow boundary there. Some heavier rainfall near State Road 70 into Manatee County, well east of I-75. You can get the picture, though. They're trying to build off toward the sea breeze, but having not much success getting past I-75 at this point. I think one or two will eventually break that down and get to the coast, but that rain chance is pretty small. We have a couple of lightning strikes with that one. So they haven't been sticking around long because of that dry air around. Here comes the east coast breeze, too. We'll watch that as it progresses off to the west. That, too, may enhance a little bit of activity later on this evening, so we could see one or two storms popping up near the coast. So the forecast calling for generally, though, partly cloudy skies and warm temperatures, 82 by 11 o'clock. It'll feel more like 90. And then the forecast calling for those showers again to wind on down tonight. Mostly fair overnight. And then here comes Tuesday morning, looking good. Lots of sunshine out there. By the 1 o'clock hour, we start to see some activity building, and then kind of fills in after 4 p.m. right along the coastline. So more showers and storms anticipated as a result of that increased moisture and that low pressure, rather large upper level low, which will continue to work its way across the state on Wednesday. So there's a chance we'll see more scattered storms and thunderstorms on the 4th. So keep that in mind, especially in the late afternoon and evening. Not much during the day, so a lot of folks will be out during the day as well. Should be okay through much of it. 89 degrees right now, current temperature in Jacksonville. It's 85 in Orlando. And as you would expect, much warmer inland, 91 in Northport, 93 in Arcadia right now. The Gulf water temperature is steamy, 87, and it's 88 now in Cortez. Currently, we have 87 at the airport, feels like 97, and west winds are at 10. The pressure is falling slightly now, 29.88 inches. In advance of that storm system, it's kind of bumping the high pressure ridge out. So scattered showers and storms in the afternoon. That heat index, though, up near 100 as early as noon in the hour. Now, as far as the forecast goes, scattered storms, east winds turn to the north and northwest, 5 to 10 knots. Not much out there, a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The 7-day forecast then calling for a good chance for scattered showers and storms through the next 7 days. And it's going to be fairly typical that you would expect during the summer months. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Let's check first alert traffic. Right now we're seeing a crash in the northbound lanes of I-75 at the State Road 70 exit. One lane is blocked and it is causing some slowdowns in that area. Jacqueline.
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, health insurance plans may be fueling the opioid epidemic. A new study suggests healthcare insurers, including Medicare and Medicaid, have not done enough to fight the opioid crisis. Researchers examined major insurers' 2017 coverage policies for drugs to treat chronic lower back pain and found that these policies missed important opportunities to steer patients towards safer and more effective treatments than prescription opioids. Researchers also found that both public and commercial plans tended to make covered opioids available relatively cheaper to patients. A new study found 97% of the time people are not washing their hands properly. That means germs that can make you sick are staying on your hands. As a reminder, the Centers for Disease Control says you should wet your hands, lather them with soap, and then rub all over for at least 20 seconds. Then dry them with a clean towel or air. Don't use a towel that is also being used for any other purpose, like wiping counters or utensils. 48 million people get foodborne illnesses every year, and many of those cases can be prevented with proper hand washing. Coming up, a woman survives a close encounter with a shark, and a massive road collapse is caught on camera. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, and you're struggling to pay your bills while your case is dragging on, that's where Oasis Financial comes in. Only Oasis has Oasis Express Cash that can get you from $500 to $25,000 in as little as 24 hours, faster than anyone else. There's no risk and no out-of-pocket cost.
It was so simple. I made one phone call. Oasis was able to give me the money within 24 hours.
To pay for my electric bill, my rent, and my groceries for my children.
And even if you end up losing your case, Oasis lets you keep the money, so there's absolutely no risk to you. You don't have to worry about repaying Oasis.
If I had lost my case, then I wouldn't be responsible for paying the money back. And that was a blessing.
Oasis, they killed it, man. They helped me out. They gave me my life back.
See how much money you can get before your case settles. Call Oasis Financial because life moves faster than your case. 1-800-874-8185. 1-800-874-8185.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
A rocket burst into flames just seconds after liftoff in Japan. Sounds like it just went out there. There was no one on board, no injuries from the blast. Momo 2 was developed by Interstellar Technologies. Their attempt last July to launch its Momo 1 rocket also failed. If successful, the launch would have been Japan's first privately developed rocket to reach outer space. We'll take a look at this surveillance video out of China now, capturing the moment a road suddenly collapsed. An eyewitness says at least 164 feet of road caved in. No one was hurt. Authorities are investigating what caused that collapse. There are some reports that it was due to days of prolonged rain in that area.
Terrifying moments in Australia as a woman is bitten and pulled into the water by sharks. Melissa Brunning was hand-feeding tawny nurse sharks off the country's northern coast when it happened. Amazingly, she did not lose her finger, but she did suffer a broken bone and torn ligaments. Brunning says she hopes others will learn from her firsthand experience to not feed sharks. Still to come on your Suncoast News, some tips to stay safe while using fireworks this upcoming holiday. And issues among Sarasota County School Board members continue. Can the district move forward? Those stories and more next.
Choral Artists of Sarasota presents Patriotic Spectacular July 4th, 4:30 p.m. at First Church, Sarasota. Choral Artists of Sarasota's annual Independence Day celebration features traditional patriotic favorites, plus a choral salute to the 100th anniversary of Leonard Bernstein and a tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. narrated by Nate Jacobs. Come for the concert and stay for the fireworks over Sarasota Bay. Tickets at choralartistsarasota.org or by calling 941-387-4900.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.